How can an acquirer take over a failing company, turn it into a huge success, and enable it to continue to evolve for mutual benefit and sustained advantage? This is the problem we set out to answer in our paper, Autonomy as a Strategic Dial, a dynamic framework for managing acquired subsidiaries. When supercar manufacturer Automobili Lamborghini was acquired by Audi, it was in terminal decline after years of underperformance, unsuccessful turnaround, and bankruptcy. But after the Audi takeover, Lamborghini experienced a remarkable and sustained recovery. It is unusual for a failing company to resurge so strongly after being acquired, whilst keeping its identity intact, rather than being subsumed by the acquirer. To understand this apparent paradox, we carried out a detailed investigation of this extreme exemplar of the acquisition of a failing company that subsequently exhibited sustained and remarkable recovery, including strengthening its identity. Our investigation was prompted by the question: how was the post-acquisition integration managed and this success against the odds achieved? On the face of it, Lamborghini's poor performance should have led to an immediate loss of autonomy and complete integration into Audi. Although intended at the outset, this is not how things actually worked out in practice. In fact, we observed significant variation in Lamborghini's level of autonomy over the 22-year study that seemed to defy the prevailing wisdom of post-acquisition integration. Our longitudinal case study enabled us to observe an unfolding process detailed in our California Management Review paper, and to understand the multiple interactions and complex negotiation of autonomy between a parent firm and a subsidiary company. It's widely reported that mergers and acquisitions fail or underperform at best, and that this is due to faulty post-acquisition integration. Managing acquired subsidiaries therefore can be daunting, particularly as fixed mindsets around subsidiary autonomy can result in diverging interests and outcomes. The tension arises from contrasting parent-subsidiary management perspectives on acquisition benefits, with parent managers searching for economies of scope and strategic integration through sharing resources and driving standardization, whilst subsidiary managers attempt to protect their decision-making power, maintain organizational distinctiveness, and retain organizational identity. Both sets of executives want to retain an ability to succeed in their competitive environments. However, in the case of a distressed target, the post-acquisition integration reality usually follows a logic of reducing the acquired company's autonomy through absorbing its key assets and capabilities into the acquiring firm and rapidly divesting what remains. This shows how the setting of autonomy levels in an acquired company is generally static and emphasizes the importance of speed of integration as a driver of M&A success. Through our study, we found that instead of the usual static approach for post-acquisition integration, organizational autonomy can be dynamically adjusted over time. In other words, it can be a strategic dial for mutual benefit. We also found that speed of integration can be varied and not just fixed from the outset. Following, as you might expect, an initial phase of robust integration, where Lamborghini managers might have just been a small cog in the machine and even facing a bleak future, remarkably, they managed to regain autonomy. As our graphic of the evolution of the Audi-Lamborghini relationship shows, this was the first of a series of reversals in autonomy that allowed for renewals of distinctive resources and capabilities. These later benefited the parent through upward transfers. Countervailing pressures from the parent periodically reasserting themselves, reducing the subsidiary's autonomy to favor strategic integration and to enable the next phase of explosive growth. The important thing to note is that these oscillations between autonomy and integration do not break out of a tolerance range, and we term this the harmonious domain. Keeping within this range allows a continuous dynamic process with results in continuous strategic renewal. Within the dynamic approach to autonomy rests three managerial levers: appraisal respect, which you can see on the left, organizational identity, and resource orchestration in the center. You can see from the slides how these three levers adjust at different time periods. These levers result in ongoing bargaining between parent and subsidiary managers, leading to oscillations in the level of subsidiary autonomy. For instance, during this period of autonomy, Lamborghini worked with a number of partners in supply chains, but also beyond supply chain, with, broadly speaking, you might say the ecosystem, to develop new products and processes. As long as these oscillations are not too extreme, meaning that they do not diverge towards complete amalgamation or separation, they can enable the renewal of competitive capabilities and sustain post-acquisition success. Our study opens novel perspectives on the management of organizational autonomy within an acquirer-subsidiary relationship and provides guidance on how to manage the level of an acquired subsidiary's autonomy for sustained competitive advantage. It provides compelling evidence about how post-acquisition integration can be managed for sustained success. We hope you enjoy the ride. Thank you for reading.